kitchen. Today, I'm going to show you how to make something super tasty. That's right, it's 2021, and if you had any resolutions at all, I hope they just involved eating more plants. So I'm going to show you how to make something today that's really kind of a lesson in how to use global flavors to amp up the excitement in your plant-based dishes. So I'm going to use some kimchi. It's got to have a bunch of Korean flavors. I've got fermented kimchi and fermented gochujang, which is a Korean hot sauce, which is not just hot, but fermented. So it's got extra umami and all kinds of great complexity that's not in your typical sort of chili and vinegar hot sauce. I'm going to put in some sesame oil, which this toasted sesame oil just gives things that little smoky note, which again adds a whole bunch of umami and deliciousness. And I've got some veggies, and it's going to be terrific. So to get started, I'm just going to drop 6 ounces of whole wheat linguine into a pot of boiling water. I'm breaking it in half so it'll be easier to eat. And I'll bring that to a boil for, it's going to be 7 minutes, so everything else has to come together in that amount of time. So while that cooks, I'm going to go ahead, I'll throw those last guys in there. I'm going to drain a cup of kimchi. Now this one's a mild one. You can decide if you want to have more heat, less heat. I'm just going to heat it up with the gochujang. I'm going to use the hot sauce really to get some heat in there. Now, the more kimchi you eat, the better. There was a report that came out early on in the COVID epidemic that people who ate a lot of kimchi were actually more resistant to the virus. And I say, good reason to eat more kimchi. And stir these babies. So in this dish, I'm draining the kimchi so I can chop it up, but I'm saving the juice. So I'm sort of kneading this out so that I can chop it more neatly. And then I'm going to put the tofu in with the kimchi juice to season it. So I'll just give this a chop. So I'm going to make this into a noodle salad, which you can eat cold or warm. And it's a great dish to take to work if you're still going to work, to pack. It's a packable lunch. And it's just a delicious, delicious dish. So I'm going to take this tofu, which I had drained. Now this is extra firm tofu, already pretty pressed. So I'm just going to cut it into cubes. See how firm it is? Just the knife just slides right through there. And I love this kind of tofu. This was actually Hodo tofu, which just recently has become nationwide. But you can also use any brand. Just look for the extra firm. It's real easy to use in this. Really, really easy to use in this. And see, I'm cutting it pretty small, so it'll be easy to pick up and get distributed through the dish and have time to soak up some tasty flavors with all the exposed surface area. So I'm going to put it right in with the kimchi juice. And it's kind of random how much kimchi juice you're going to have, but don't ever throw the juice away. It's full of good bacteria and flavor, of course. Great, tasty kimchi flavor. So I'm just tossing this tofu with the fermented kimchi juice to get started with the deliciousness. And then I'm going to add the chopped kimchi. And of course, just keep fooling with my water. Now I'm going to show you how to cut up this carrot into a julienne. So I get a nice fat carrot and I cut it on a steep diagonal because I want to be able to eat this raw without it seeming, because I want to throw this into the pot actually with the cooking noodles. So you can see I've got this spread out like a little deck of cards, and I'm just going to take my knife and cut right through that little stack to make a relatively thin slice. Sometimes they slide away a little bit. And this is a great method for getting these really pretty, kind of dramatically angular little slices of julienne carrot. And since I just have 2 minutes left on the timer, I'm going to go ahead and throw them into the pot with the boiling noodles. Now you can do this with rice noodles, gluten-free noodles, whatever kind of noodles work for you. But I like to use a whole grain pasta whenever possible, amp up my flavor and my whole grain goodness. So I peeled and scooped the seeds out with a spoon of this beautiful cucumber, and now I'm just cutting it into some lovely little quarter moons. It's that time of year to start moving toward, I'm just craving kind of summery foods, even though it's not summer. And then I've got these beautiful crispy snap peas, which you can just snap with your finger and strip the string away. Or you can use a knife if you want, but I'm just doing it manually. And it's always good to get these and use them in fresh salads like this. And if they don't look good, you can always use snow peas. But either way, if they are limp, don't bother, just use some other vegetable. You could throw in some broccolini or something else like that. And then I'm going to get my veggies all together in this bowl. It's going to be a very tight little bowl. Now I've got a 1/4 cup of tamari soy sauce. Time to drain the pasta. So this is my little pasta strainer, which makes my life easier for shooting these videos. And I'm just going to set that on top of there. Turn this off. Get rid of the water. And now I have my noodles. I'm just going to let them cool a little bit and finish draining. And so I've got my 1/4 cup of soy sauce. I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of toasted sesame oil because we want that yummy, yummy flavor. It's going to make it taste nutty and delicious. And then I'm going to put in this gochujang, which is my fermented hot sauce. So I'm putting in the gochujang, my fermented hot sauce. 2 tablespoons. Now if you're not into heat, you can go a little lighter on that. A couple tablespoons of sugar. And I'm just gonna whisk it up. Super, super simple and easy. That and the kimchi juice is gonna be the whole dressing for this noodle salad. Oh yeah, look at that, yum. So let's see if we can fit it all in. I'm gonna put in my noodles and carrots. And I'll drizzle this dressing over the warm noodles, which is going to be so good. And that actually makes the dressing kind of soak into the noodles. So I'm going to just turn it carefully in my bowl. Get that tofu mixed in. Oh, if you could smell this, it just smells so good. Carrots and noodles, and you can smell that sesame oil and that spice and that kimchi. This is just my idea of a good time. And I've got some extra jalapeno I'm putting in there. Again, it's all up to your heat tolerance. I like to put red Thai chilies in this too for some color, but I went with the milder jalapenos today. And here we have it. Here's my beautiful Korean noodle salad with kimchi. Look at a big bowl of that. And I'm going to garnish it with some lovely scallions. And I have some watermelon radish, because that's like the thing these days, is to go ahead and throw some watermelon radish on for color. And I'm going to put a little into a bowl for me to taste, because that's what this is all about, right? Because it's all about the flavor. And I would like for you to taste this, try this at home, and also check out my website at robinasbell.com, where I'm offering classes where we will meet right here and stay much longer to work together. You can cook with me. I'll send you the recipes. It'll be fun. But you go to robinasbell.com, check out all my books. I've written 12 now, and we will have a good time. So I'm going to taste this. I'm just going to get a little bite of this tofu. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's so good. And a little bite of kimchi. And a little bite of noodle. It's just spicy enough for my palate. Just a couple tablespoons of the gochujang, a little bit of jalapeno, and the sesame oil just makes it. You could also add some nuts to this. You could add some toasted sesame seeds as well for a little crunch. But I just love that this is so simple, and because I added such flavorful, intense ingredients like the kimchi and the gochujang and the sesame oil, something super simple is just redolent with flavor. It is just so delicious. So if you're looking for a simple way to eat your tofu that doesn't require a whole bunch of marinating and frying, here's your answer. So I hope you'll try this. Check out my website, hit the like button, and I will see you again soon.